The best presents are always the ones that you wouldn't get for yourself, right? But you would still probably enjoy. Got a note from MSI. They said, congratulations on 500,000 subscribers. Also, something that suggested to me maybe that they were saying, lol, with your recent motherboard troubleshooting struggles. I mean, it's been going on for a while, but I've only recently just posted about it on the forum and Twitter and made a video. So, MSI sent this. I kind of know what's in it. And, yeah, well, let's unpack it. This is an absurdly large box for a motherboard. Y'all like motherboards and motherboard accessories? Oh my goodness. So this is the X870E Godlike X Edition. So 9, 8, and 7000 series, AM5 desktop support, one PCIe 5x16, PCIe 5x8, one PCIe 4.0x4, two USB 4 ports, 4 DIMMs, DDR5, 2 M.2. It's got a bunch of accessories. Oh, it's got a lucky keychain. Neat. They're only making 1,000 of these. It is very, very limited edition. This one is going to go in the studio, and we are going to use it until the end of time. I mean, on the one hand, if you're going to spend this much on a motherboard, wouldn't you buy a Threadripper motherboard? On the other hand, there is no higher-end X870E motherboard available. This is literally the most featureful AM5 motherboard you can get. Period. That's a lot of words to say. It's way over the top. Godlike X Edition. Whoa. Look at that. Our cover, Godlike, level 1 text. After the fall of our society, archaeologists will find that in the future and think, what the hell? It's our easy control hub. We know that from our Z890 Godlike review. Here's our M.2 breakout card, which look at this. This is so cool. You've got M.2 modular. It's not hot swap. M.2 are not meant to be hot swap. It's not PCIe hot plug. That's not a thing. Don't do that. But you can add M.2 to this. This is going to use 8 of your graphics lanes through the connection there in your second slot. But this will let you run, M.2. This actually will be really great with Linux. MSI Linux support has been getting better all the time. Also with the Godlike board, it comes with extra thermal pads, which is great because, around here we change our M.2s constantly. Got our Wi-Fi antenna. We got our accessory box. Got another accessory box. This is the 10 years of evolution, one Godlike moment. Ooh. The USB-C cable. Oh, I see what they've done here. Look at this madness. Yeah, that's over the top. It's like when the motherboard is long since obsolete. You can put this on your desk and know that you mean serious business because it's on your desk. It's like, welcome to the principal's office. We have the X Edition, Godlike X Edition. This must be the lucky keychain. Yes. Hey, look, it's dark mode lucky. 10th anniversary. It's like me. Did they forget to add the motherboard? No. Wow. Look at that. I just don't know how to unpack it. That's how you unpack it. That is legit bananas. Stickers! What an appealing aesthetic design. So our rear I/O, it's kind of monstrous. 10 gig, 5 gig, 6 Type-C ports, 8 Type-A ports. All 10 gig, except for the USB-C, which could be, 40 gig. We've got a smart button, a clear CMOS button, and a flash BIOS button. Optical SPDIF out, analog microphone in, analog audio out, and our Wi-Fi 7 antenna connectors. There is no room at the end. Or the rear I/O, as the case may be. MSI has way oversubscribed our relatively modest AM5 chipset. This is way more M.2 ports than we actually have PCIe lanes, but you can run dual Gen 5. You got to give up your Type-C. But you can run dual Gen 5. Well, you don't have to give up your Type-C. You can run 2 lanes on a 4-lane M.2. Like, that's an option. But there you go. We've even got a 22110. You can run an Optane M.2 on this. Fortunately, the motherboard silkscreen does indicate which M.2 are SATA and which ones are PCIe and which ones have shared connectivity. It also indicate on the silkscreen which DIMM slots should be populated first. Looks like the top layer around the DIMMs is actually some type of ground plane because I don't see any traces connecting to the DIMMs. That'll be important because we're going to try our 256 gig kit. Yes, G.Skill has a DDR5 6000 kit, 4 sticks, 256 gigs, and we got it working reliably at DDR5 6000. I did that initially on an MSI Tomahawk board, so I'm pretty confident that MSI will have poured the learnings and hard-won experience into the Godlike board, because if you're going to buy a motherboard like this, aren't you also going to buy 256 gigabytes of memory? Whew. Memory's gone up lately, though. MSI has also put a ton of connectivity at the front here at a right angle, which means that you're going to need an even larger case because you have to have enough room not just for the motherboard tray, but also all the cabling. So you get your front panel connections, you got 2 SATA connections, you got your 2 20-pin 5 gigabit front panel connections, 2 Type-C 10 gig, including one that has a 60-watt charging capability. Then we've got our power delivery, our 8-pin power delivery on either side of that cluster of ports. Then we got a 24-pin ATX, CPU fan, ARGB, pump fan on the top. We've got the tuning controller input, the 2 temperature sensor inputs, the bridge input, front panel 1, front panel 2, and a USB 2.0 header. The front panel audio connection is here. Usually it's like back here somewhere. It's here on the front edge on this motherboard. Oh. MSI outsmarted me again. Those plucky little engineers. Now I know what you're thinking. I want to use the other 2 SATA connections. Why would you want to use on this motherboard? Come on, don't use SATA. And it's blocked by the bottom heatsink. No, the MSI engineers have thought of that. Look at this. It's snapped into place. It's like, oh, it's blocked all those ports. You can't get to it. No, they thought of that. It's magnetic. That's amazing. This motherboard is utterly absurd. Also, I point out the sticker on this has some helpful hints about where the screws go. It's like, there are screws here. You should use the screws. There's also an easy GPU release. It's the button here. So if you're popping your GPU in and out, like it actually could be a good thing to take your GPU out if you travel with your machine, like if you're going to a LAN party or a friend's house or something, or back and forth to college. Pop your GPU out because the weight of the GPU can damage the motherboard. Well, obviously, we have to do a build with this, right? I mean, come on. And what else would it be? 9950X3D, right? I mean, if you're going to buy this, oh, we're going to put a 7600 in there. 9950X3D. Maybe the dual Vcache one, if that comes out, if that's a real thing. I don't know at the time that I'm shooting this, if that's going to be a real thing or not, but we'll see. It's a removable screen. EasyBridge does not support hot swapping. Do not unplug while it's on. And when you're doing your build, you definitely are going to want to make sure that you use the 60-watt charging USB-C connection if your case only has the one Type-C port. Well, this motherboard is actually legit bananas. I hope that the build experience and the usage experience is as legit bananas as the board appears to be. Thank you, MSI, for sending this, and thank you for subscribing and our patrons and our Flowplane people. And I like motherboards. Let's get to it. Before we put this in a build, let's put it in a mini build. It's like workbench, test bench, basically. So basically, install the processor, do the cooling, set it up on the test bench, make sure it's good to go. For the cooling, I'm using an MSI 280 millimeter AIO that I already had. And our memory kit is going to be our G.Skill 256 gig kit that we reviewed previously. This is the F5 6000 3644 D6 GX4 TZ5NR. 256 gigs, 6,000 mega transfers with all 4 DIMMs is no easy feat on AM5. And we're going to put it to the test right now on this board and see how it does. Our board is such a chunker, it doesn't really even fit on the test bench. For the CPU, there's really only one or two choices, right? 9950X, 9950X 3D, maybe that rumored 9950X 3D 2 with 2 V-cache dies. First post. It's going to take a little while for the memory to train. Not bad. It took a couple of minutes, 3-ish, to post, and this is before we load the Expo profile. I've set the Expo profile. Let's reboot and see what happens. Expo is set and enabled. Reboot. And how long is it going to take to post? I don't know. Probably a while, because it's 256 gigs at 6,000 mega transfers. It posted at 6,000 mega transfers. Yeah, and it took a few minutes, on the order of like 3-ish. You don't have to wait that long every time, just after the computer's been off for a very long time. If you let it go to sleep, it'll do periodic memory retraining. Sometimes it takes a little bit, especially when you have 256 gigs of memory. If you've got like 64 gigs of memory and an entirely ordinary amount like that, you don't even have to worry about that. Or 2 DIMMs. It's like 2 DIMMs. This is way easier on the AM5 platform. But this is a testament to MSI's engineering. They were one of the first, if not the first, to have 4 DIMMs stable with 6,000 mega transfers. And that is no easy feat. Now, just because it posted doesn't mean it's stable, however. But I have put a lot of mileage in testing other MSI motherboards for stability at DDR5 6000, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be okay, but I don't trust it entirely. So now we're going to boot into Linux and run YCruncher, and we're going to run Passmark's MemTest86. Between those two things running for a sufficiently long time, that's usually enough to suss out stability issues. But be aware, you can run into stability issues when you also have a lot of PCIe loading. Like if you have a lot of I/O on the PCIe bus, that can pull down some of the memory stability as well. There's lots of interesting threads about that on the forum. Those are edge cases mostly and probably RMA country, but generally not something you see even when you get a platform like this stable. So, diagnostics time. Level 1 diagnostics. See what I did there? That's why I love doing this. I just love playing with motherboards. So, good news, that DDR5 6000 test passed, and YCruncher passed in Linux. Generally pretty good Linux peripheral support on this motherboard. We have the Marvell 10 gig and the Realtek 5 gig. I think that if you're going to do a build like this, the 5090 or the 5080 Founders Edition are pretty much the only GPUs that make sense. I could be talked into the R9700AI, like 2 of those for this platform. This would be a pretty killer AM5 platform for dual 32 gig GPUs. This is 9070 XT, but with 32 gigabytes of memory. And you could do a 9070 on this platform. That would be perfectly reasonable, especially if you were using this kind of a build for some sort of like ultra reliable machine learning build, and you didn't care and you wanted to splurge a little extra on the motherboard. I could see choosing this as that motherboard. This does have a lot of other really high-end features, like a water flow sensor designed for a custom loop or something like that. But the reality and the nature of AM5 is that it doesn't really make sense to push an extreme overclock on AM5. If you enable PBO, it's going to pretty much work out of the box, and it's going to be pretty much stable. Like if you get crashing with PBO, that's unusual because PBO just lets the CPU do what it thinks is best. And generally, you just get more free performance with that. So a high quality 280mm AIO or 360mm AIO, to me, makes more sense than going the custom loop route. If you're doing a custom loop for GPU cooling, you could, but again, it's probably going to make more sense for you to step up to another platform that has even more PCIe lanes, something like Threadripper. Because what else is there in 2025 in mid to late November? Because, platform refresh and all that kind of stuff. 16 cores at a ridiculously high clock speed. We're running at like 72 degrees C with our 280mm AIO here. Everything running full tilt. Our memory running at DDR5 6000, no errors. I love this platform. It's a lot of fun. This setup right now is only rocking a single PCIe Gen 5 4TB M.2, but you could expand that to 2. If you're running Linux, you could run RAID 1. I don't really recommend AMD's RAID solution, even for like a RAID 1, the AMD RAID Expert. it really isn't as good as native Windows support for native Windows support for just the NVMe in general, but Windows still kind of sucks for doing something like RAID 1, whereas the Linux platform is pretty solid. If you are going to go the AI route, Windows is a first-class citizen now with ROCm, and RDNA is working its way into that first-class citizen status in terms of the software stack that's available, especially if you're a Python developer, especially if you're going down that. And I mean native Windows support here. I don't mean through the Windows subsystem for Linux. If you're doing NVIDIA development, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the Windows subsystem for Linux. NVIDIA is going in a different direction architecturally. And I don't necessarily I'm not really saying that one approach or the other is better. It's just interesting that NVIDIA's entire tool chain is built on Linux, and the Windows subsystem for Linux is tooling that calls native Windows drivers, but the Windows parity isn't really there. Whereas we learned at Computex that AMD sees it a little differently, and they want things to work a little bit better on the Windows platform. That's going to have to be it for this video. I need to actually put this into a build and finish it. If you're going the gaming direction, a 5080 or a 5090 makes sense with a motherboard that is this high end, probably the 5090. If you're using this as a platform for AI support or something like that, for just 2 GPUs, okay. Do you want me to get out the RTX 6000? We could deploy an RTX 6000 or 2 on this platform, but again, I think more PCIe lanes makes more sense. And if you're going to spend $9,000 on a GPU, you probably should go with the Threadripper. But 32 gigs here, 64 gigs on the platform, AM5. This is a much lower cost, much more bang for the buck. So, you got options. I'm Modalist Level 1. This has been a quick look at the MSI Godlike X Edition. This is limited edition. If you want the X Edition, they're only making 1,000. So check that out. And thanks to MSI, and thanks to you for subscribing, because, hey, 500K. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm Modalist Level 1. I'm signing out. You can find me in the Level 1 forums. Let me know if you have any questions. Want to see a build, let's do a test, whatever. All right, signing out. I'll see you there.